So here's an update on the Insley. Been working on the bucket and the door. I cut new pins. Not sure how the factory did it, if they just, these were welded on, but I put a collar with a pin through it. I got the two outer teeth, or the shanks off. There's no teeth on it, they just welded a plate on the shanks. So I gotta order teeth. These two center ones are stuck, so I'm gonna have to keep fiddling with them. This had a lot of cracks in it, so it's taking me some time to work on it. Alright, well, that's something else there. This ear's bent. I didn't notice that before, but it'll do for now. As you can see, these have been cracked. But redid the linkage. I made this new trip bar. Cleaned up the threads on this. New fine thread bolts, like what was in it. I'm sure I'll have to adjust it some once I start using it. See, this is what they had a plate on the end here, and then they had it welded. Like I said, I put pins in it. I think I'm good with that for now. Hey guys, so Wes is working on an Insley dragline and he had some questions about the controls. So I'm going to show you how my machine's set up. Now, I have a shovel front, so the boom's different, but a lot of this will be the same. First off, here's that Pierce governor, belt-driven governor, that his machine's supposed to have. See, it has the same extra throttle body. Actually, mine needs a little bit of work. Similar control panel. This is a Buddha HP 326 gas engine. It's a flathead 6-cylinder. Runs pretty well. So, stand back here and give you a little overview of the controls. So, this one right here, this is your master clutch. Forward, disengaged, pull it towards you, engaged. Now, before you do that, make sure this lever's in the center, these two are pushed forward. And then once you engage the master clutch, your drive gears, the reversing shaft, and everything's going to start turning. So, let's start on the right hand side here. These levers are for your drums. You got, for a drag line, you'd have your hoist drum and your drag drum. See, start on the outside here. This lever engages this booster band over here, right there, which engages a bigger clutch, which would drive the drum farthest away from you. And the next lever over, this one here, this engages this booster band right next to you. These should cam over so they lock in. I reline this booster band Like I said, this engages this other clutch and will turn the drum closest to you. Now on top of the drums are brake bands, one for each drum, and that corresponds to the foot pedals. So this foot pedal is actuating that far band, and then the next foot pedal to the left of that engages this one here. So that's the simple part. Now this lever next, this does your travel and your swing. So center is neutral, then you got a clutch at either end. This is for the reversing shaft, also known as your swinger clutch. So now to switch it from travel to swing is this lever to the left of that. So it engages a jaw clutch, which is down in there. You can see the gear there and the jaws, they're not lined up right now. So right now it's in neutral, which is the center position. Now before you go to swing, this here is your swing brake. Well, swing lock I should say. Some have a brake band, and some have, like this machine, where it has a set of teeth that dog into the swing gear, which I can show you down here underneath. It's right up here. I gotta do some welding on mine, but so that dogs into the ring gear. And then these two levers, these are your steering brakes. So they ratchet in down at the bottom here towards you, puts the brake on so you can steer. Now one more thing, this lever will also do your boom hoist, unless you have independent boom hoist on it, which would be a different lever, I believe. So this lever, once you're in neutral here, you don't want this in travel or swing, you can engage this drive pinion by pulling this out into this section here. So once your pinion's engaged, you can this isn't dogged in, but now it is. So once that's engaged, I believe you push this lever forward and it'll start hoisting the boom, which is this drum back here. The brake's automatically applied when you let off that, but when you go to lower the boom, you'll have to hoist up a little bit, disengage this ratchet, and then this lever here, which would be under the seat, this is your brake band for the hoist. You can release that. So that pretty much covers all the controls on this machine. I'm not sure if Wes's has a few extra or a few less levers or different orientation. I think his swing brake or swing lock was a little further back. His machine's a little bit newer. He has the full vision cab, where mine has the older style. This has an electric motor for the bucket trip for the front shovel, and then that's what this button would do here. So that pretty much covers all of it. And while we're at it, I can go show you the Lima. Controls are similar, but we can go over that too. So this machine has independent boom hoist, so we can go over that. This is your independent boom hoist. You pull it towards you. It's got a worm drive hoist on it, so there's no free fall or anything like that. The brake's automatically applied, and you can't drive a worm drive backwards. So towards you is up, forwards down. These are your two drum clutches. Here's your brakes, and this is your swing and travel. And then this down here, this is the swing lock. This was a band type, where the Insley's got teeth that dog in. Now, this lever furthest to the right, this is your swing and travel. Right now it's in swing, up is travel. Next one, this is your steering lever. This slides the jaw clutches down on the below the machine. This is your truck lock. So down's disengaged, up is engaged. That's like your digging brakes. So if you were digging in front of you, every time you would drag the bucket in, it would pull the machine over. Well, that has a ratchet down underneath, and that locks the drive from rolling. And then this one furthest to the left, that's your master clutch. So, but pretty much the same setup. This is the reversing shaft. These clutches are a disc type, similar to a clutch in a vehicle. So you can see, it just pushes in on them. And then here's the more commonly seen shoe type and band for your clutch and your brake. For the most part, the controls are straightforward, except for on that Hansen shovel that I got to play with a few months ago. That was a little different. Your hoist brake, it was you let off of it and engaged, and you pushed on it and disengaged, so it was opposite. But the brake for the crowd, that was conventional, where you step on it to apply and release it to disengage it. So that was a little goofy to run. I do kind of like it. It's automatically applied. Did stick here and there. So this is a yawn bucket picked up yesterday. Appears to be a half yard. I'm going to run on the Lima. I'm going to head another shiv on the hoist. I'm going to remove that and just run a wedge socket down to the dump sheave. And then dump cable will run up through that. And then down to the front here. I don't know. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that. I'm used to seeing drag becket or drag wedge on most of them. This one's just got a bunch of shackles and stuff. I'll figure something out. I want to get it working. And I don't think I'm going to do too much with this machine until the spring. I'm back over focusing on the Insley. Got the fuel issue figured out on the backhoe, and just a clogged fuel filter again. Surprisingly, even though I had a lot of pressure downstream of it, I think it was just air pressure built up from the electric pump. So I'm working on running the tank down. I'm going to drain it and clean it like many of you said I should. No, it's getting pretty low, but the loader pin did break off the other side, so I gotta cut that off and weld it back up. But I want to get the Insley going for the spring. I'd like to bring it around to some shows. You can see I still have a lot of cleaning to do in here. I believe there's a bolt missing from this clutch, and I think that swinger clutch down there needs relined, if I remember from last time I looked at this. And ow, that was my head. And while I'm at it, I'm going to reline that booster band. So, but in the meantime, I got to finish working on this. This is the dipper. I got the bucket all ready to go, new pins I built for it. I redid the trap door, welded up all the cracks in it. But this is the issue I have now, is that, well, these teeth in the beginning of the rack are excellent because doesn't receive any wear there. As you get more towards the end of it, you can see the teeth are destroyed. They've been welded up and they're rough shape. So I gotta work on that. And I had this nut gall when I was taking it off, so I had to split the nut with the torch. Not sure what I'm gonna do there yet. And then there was some rubber and some shims that would space these two dipper arms apart with this plate. So I'm going to work on that too. So I haven't been able to find anybody that actually just makes little segments I could just buy and put on here, so I might have to either weld them up or have them made. It's 1.25 inches from the center of each tooth. There's 8 teeth per little segment. They're just about 10 inches long, I believe, and 2.25 wide. I think down to the bottom here is 3 inches wide. And these go by, it's not like standard pitch, it's like diametral pitch. So that has to do with the circumference of the gear. And I think that these are like a 2.5 diametral pitch. So I don't know if anybody has any leads on that. I'd appreciate it. If not, I'll probably check a few places. I believe these are cast steel. See if a few places locally might cast them. But I'm sure that's going to be pretty cost prohibitive. So I think I'm going to just end up welding and maybe make a little jig so I could check these. But I've got a lot of cleaning to do. I scrape all this old grease off. It's hard as a rock. And then these up here probably need a little bit of work, and I might have to do something with these shoes that it rides on. This is actually flipped upside down. The weight of it made it rotate, and this side's actually broken. So I've got my work cut out for me. So I hope that helps Wes out, and I appreciate the shout out. I've been at my channel since 2012, and I post here and there, but I appreciate the shout out, and hope this helps you out with your machine. I know we'd all love to see it going, and if you can find the rest of the boom, that'd be awesome. So anyway, thanks guys for tuning in, and I appreciate all the new subscribers. Hope you enjoy the channel, and catch you on the next video. Let her warm up a minute. And we'll see about tracking this down out of the driveway, because I don't think I'm going to have time to work on it.